Hello everyone, welcome to CripChat, weekly podcast on everything disability. With us is Evie and Luke, who shows up. Tim, welcome back.
It's great to be back.
Yeah, welcome back, Timothy, and thank you, Jonathan, for having us on the show once again. So, Jonathan, tell us, what are we going to be talking about today?
So, today we're going to be talking about independence assessment. I don't know if you guys heard.
Oh, yes, Jonathan, we've heard. Have you heard the news, Timothy and David?
Yeah, I have.
So, do you want to just inform us, Jonathan? So I just informed the audience, sorry about that, Jonathan, but
I beg your pardon?
the assessments have been scraped. There's no more independent assessment. Good job to all those that got involved. So how does that make you feel, Jonathan?
Well, it's a relief because I was feeling the worst that a lot of participants will be kicked off the scheme.
Yeah. Sounds exciting, man. Look, I felt I really felt that kind of excitement when I heard the news. And also, I want to congratulate all those advocates that spent their time, writing a letter to the minister. What are your thoughts on that, Timothy? How do you feel?
I think it's really good that they've said that they're going to cancel the independent assessments as they stand, but I'm also cautious because they say that they're going to come up with some sort of alternative. So the alternative is what I'm keen to see.
Oh yeah. Me too. Look, this thing isn't going away. We just gotta be cautious of that. Thanks for pointing that out, Timothy. Look, but I guess it's up to us as a community to come together and raise our voices and advocate for ourselves. So, like I say, bring it on. And so, if they want to continue going down that path, then we as disability advocates are ready to stand up for our rights. And I guess we are ready to, take control of our lives and not be in control of others. Welcome, David. Are you with us? No, David has some IT issues going on.
So, Tim, what did you think about the way independent
Hello, everyone.
assessment
I think the way.
I'll
Oh yeah, sorry, go
try
on.
to use.
Sorry for that, David. Are you with us? Okay, sorry about that interruption. Timothy, continue
Nah,
on.
that's okay. That's the joy of modern technology, isn't it? It never works when you need it to.
Yeah.
But yeah, my thoughts on how the reporting has gone. Excuse me while I let this bird out because she wants to get out and she'll scream the house down if I don't.
No worries. So, look, I'm happy to jump in. Sorry about that. So, Jonathan, what was the question? There you go.
So,
Timothy's back.
All right, I'm back. Got rid of the bird, so now I can actually speak without her wanting to scream. But yeah, my thoughts on the reporting around independent assessments being cancelled. It's been relatively positive, but there has been a few, I guess, media outlets that haven't used very positive terms, and one in particular, I won't name them, so we don't get ourselves into any trouble. But I'd say it's a more conservative paper that's titled after the country and quite well read. But the way that they referred to people with disabilities wasn't correct. They used the terms that we call othering. So, in short, they were referring to us as the disabled, which is not on, and that's not on because it puts us, in this sort of bracket where we're seen as like less than or an excluded group. But also in this piece that I read, they were saying that the canning of the independent assessments was a bad thing because apparently the NDIS is apparently hemorrhaging money and waste of taxpayer dollars, according to this paper that I read. So that's only been like one thing, but the rest have been quite good and in support of scrapping the independent assessment. So yeah.
Yeah. And I agree with you, Timothy. Kind of makes us feel like we're less valued. We're not important, categorizing everyone as being like an object rather than human being.
Yeah. And I think it's also important to point out because the argument that it's popped up in not just this paper that I read, but a few media outlets take this stance of that the NDIS is like a waste of money or people are abusing the system and wasting taxpayer dollars. It's not a case of that at all. If we didn't have the NDIS in place, it would be costing taxpayers a lot more because people with disabilities wouldn't be getting the support they need, and with that their health would get worse, so then they end up in hospital or even worse, and that would be even more cost to taxpayers. So to have a system in place where we are supporting people with disabilities to make sure they don't end up in situations with poor health or poor living conditions, I think it's really vital that we have more disabled voices in this space. And in particular, it doesn't sit right with me that like the head of NDIS or whatever you want to call her isn't a person with a disability. I think a person with a disability, or not just a person with a disability, multiple people with disabilities should be in that space making the decisions, because at the end of the day, we're the ones that have the lived experience, but also we understand what others could go through. And I don't feel like an able-bodied person in Parliament knows what is right for a disabled person living like an average Joe type thing.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easy way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools to let you to record an ADU podcast right from your phone or computer.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree, and I don't see a reason why the CEO of the agency can't be sort of in a way elected by participants because I do get how a government appointee can necessarily represent participants.
Exactly, and from my understanding, the NDIS when it came around was designed to help people with disability live the lives they want to choose. They have the voice control and also I forgot the third one, and having choice as well. And the NDIS was designed to support individuals to live independently and make decisions independently. And now they've been on these independent assessments and whatnot, that sort of, limits our ability to, live the life we want to choose. So it doesn't make sense. And I don't know if you agree with me, guys, but it does not make sense.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And the biggest issue that I saw with the independent assessment model that they had, a few big issues actually. The whole thing was a big issue, to put it bluntly. But if you really break it down, it's dehumanizing to have someone come in and ask you what you can't do, and then you don't get any support, like psychological support from that, because I imagine that would be a very traumatizing thing to have someone come into your home, into your like personal space, and they basically comb through all of your conditions and your requests with a fine-tooth comb, and just really, it feels like it's quite invasive. But also, if you have people like observing you in your home, you could have like a day where you're doing better, and some days you do worse than others. But if they catch you on a good day and your condition isn't as bad or something, and they deem that to be not as severe, then your funding will get cut because that's what they see. So there's a lot of issues with that model, and I'm glad they got rid of it. So in a way, I'm kind of hanging out to see what this new model they're going to propose is, because I'd like to hope it's going to be quite different from what they first said they would do.
Yeah, that's right. We just got a comment here from Patricia. So she said that I'm ever so happy that the government has abandoned the new assessment criteria for the NDIS. What a disgrace that would make you resit the exam. Yeah, and I'm with you all the way. Yeah, look, Tony, to be honest with you, the government is working backwards. And that's not a good thing for us with disability, because we need to be more inclusive, a more inclusive society. We need help from these governments. So for them to put a limitation on us is gonna cause a burden between us and society.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel a way you could make these people in government see the damage that that their potential ideas are doing to people is to have them put them in a wheelchair or something and have them navigate around for a day. Give them a lived experience of sort. It's not going to give them 100% view into the life of a person with a disability, but it will give them some perspective that is different from their own. And I feel because they don't understand what it's like to be disabled, that's why they can make these decisions about our lives so easy because they don't have that connection to disability.
Yeah, exactly, Timothy. Like you said, you can put them on the wheelchair, make them live the life of, I guess, people with disability for a day. But is that enough? It's not enough. It does give them that perspective, but just remember, we're sort of in that situation, most of our lives, and so it's not really much getting perspective, but it's just understanding and educating yourself. That we need support, and you can't limit us from doing anything. Because in saying that, we're going back to the medical model of disability where people see people with disability as being sick, and once they're sick, they're unable to do anything or achieve anything. But rather, we want to live in the social model of disability where society is the one that causes barriers for us. That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, from my experience in occupational therapy, I think both models have like their good and bad. Like in my own practice, I'd use a mixed model, so I understand that yes, disability can be like a physical thing with a person's body, but that's not necessarily the entire reason why they can't do something. Like yes, society is also a barrier, but for instance, if you have someone with a chronic condition that can vary, go up and down, you have to have the understanding in place that there is like things in a person's body that can affect how they're able to do things, but also a huge part of that is society because if we use the example of chronic illness and somebody has a day where they're not able to like get out of bed, you make it so they can work from home or something. You find ways to like adapt it.
Yeah, exactly. What are your thoughts on that, Jonathan?
I think that the current planning process is not perfect, but I think the flaw in the government thinking that is that the NDIS is just another form of welfare. So somehow we as a community need to shift the dominant attitude of the government to convince them the NDIS is not the pension, it's about enabling us participants to live a full and complete lives.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Then, this is a comment from Julie. Hi guys, great outcome. Yes, it totally was. Totally was. So yeah, any final thoughts on this? Before we wrap up.
No, I don't really have any final thoughts other than I just want to see what their next step is and see if it is any better than what they previously suggested, because with disability advocates, they've worked so hard to get to this point, and we really don't want to be given some alternative that's like worse than the initial thing they suggested. So yeah, that's my thoughts for now.
No, that's good stuff. Good stuff. And also, look, disability advocates are out there, especially organizations that are advocating for the rights of people with disability, and coming together as a collective and raising our voices, to, I guess, scrape the independent assessments was really a highlight because it recognizes that the importance of people with disability in the community, and it gives them, it gives people with disability the chance, raise their voice and make changes when they come together. And so, for all those disability advocates out there, just keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So, hats off to those organizations. And yeah, we're all in this together. So, yeah, pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
What about you, Jonathan? Any final thoughts?
My final thought is it's great that independent assessments are dead, hopefully, but this is only the beginning of the path to a fair NDIS. So we shouldn't let off the pressure. We need to use this victory and push the government to see disability more through the social model. But for now, I'm Jonathan. You've been watching CripChat, your weekly podcast on everything disability. Join us next week for more CripChat. Bye bye.
See you guys.
Yeah. Bye.